Hello and welcome again to Take It Out. Today we have a bit of a special unboxing. If you've been watching the series of videos that I've been putting up, you'll remember that I had to send my BlackBerry Priv back. Not because there was anything wrong with the phone. The phone I thought was quite an excellent phone. Very well built. I really liked the keyboard. The fact that you could use it as a trackpad was especially good, I thought. But the customer service was terrible. So I thought I'd replace it with something a little bit different. Now I did intend to go for a Windows 10 phone, the new 950 or 950 XL, but they're not available yet in the UK. So I got this instead, and this also is not available in the UK or indeed in Europe. What is it? A Galaxy Note 5. Now they haven't released the Note 5 in Europe yet. This is the 64 gig model, as you can see, which gets around one of the biggest problems with the new Note 5 in that it doesn't have an SD card slot. So let's break it open and have a look at it. And here it is. It's the gold version. I think they call it platinum gold. As I said, you can't actually buy a European version of this anywhere yet. Samsung just haven't released it or put it on the market. I don't even know if they've actually built one. So this is the, if I remember rightly, Taiwanese version, SK Telecom. It's the N920S. There are two versions that work as world phones and support most of the UK frequencies. There's this one and the N920i. No, sorry, I've got that wrong. The N20C. The N20i, which you see quite often, doesn't actually support most of the UK bandwidths and so won't work on most of the UK networks. But this one fully supports most bandwidths and most networks in the UK. And my network is 3 and it definitely supports all the bandwidths and the LTE bandwidths of Hutchinson 3. I know this because I checked it. There's a website you can actually use to check to make sure that the phone is compatible. I'll put that in the comments below. As you can see, it comes with a USB lead, which is the USB micro lead, not the USB 3.1 lead, and these headphones, which I realise now they've actually got a plastic shroud around them, so I can't get them out to show you. It comes with a European style charging block, 2-pin, but we use these in the UK as well with an adapter, and as you can see it's the fast charging. It's an hour or 45 minutes to fully charge the phone. This is a little grabber and set of spare tips for the S Pen. Of course the Note comes with the S Pen. I don't think there's anything else in the bottom there. No. So we'll put this over to the side a moment and we'll have a look at the phone itself. As you can see, it's quite a big phone, but about the same size as my Z3. Power button on the right hand side, microphone and SIM card on the top, volume, all the usual stuff, headphone, micro USB, and of course the S Pen, which slots into the bottom here. And it's an active pen. It has a button on it, as you can see there. Make sure it goes in the right way around. There's been a lot of them damaged and destroyed really by putting it in the wrong way. I'm going to put my SIM card in here now and boot it up so you can see it actually working on my network. I'll do the initial setup and then I'll set it up fully later and do a full review in the next few days. So we're just going to pop out the SIM card tray. And it's the Nano SIM, which happens to be the same as my Sony Xperia Z3 SIM. same size, so I don't have to cut anything down. Just slot it into the holder. And pop it back in the phone. And let's boot it up. It's running 5.1.1, but the Samsung are actually at this moment uploading Marshmallow for the N920S to their servers, so I'm hoping within the next week or two it'll actually have the Android 6 Marshmallow release on it. So we're going to enable it to connect to the network. We're actually already in the settings, so I don't need to pull the status bar down to get in. One nice setting that I do like on Galaxy phones is the ability to adjust the font size. Because of my poor eyesight, I'm going to do that now. And you've got the little slider bar here which you can just slide up and down. And to enable this, you just flick the switch. And it actually shows you the different sizes in text as you do it as well. So you can actually choose the size that's best suited for you. That's done. Nothing else here I want to change as yet. Some interesting things here. You've got grayscale, which is used for the ultra power saving mode. Not sure what's happening here. Ah, of course, Samsung put their buttons the opposite way around to everybody else. So I'm pressing the wrong button. So I finally press the back button and my next screen comes up. Connecting to your data on your network, so I enable that. I'm just going to put in my password for my Wi-Fi now. Now the Wi-Fi is all connected. We can move on to the next part, which is the usual user licenses and so on. Ask me if I want them to collect my data. I don't think so. As little as possible anyway. So agree to the terms and conditions, otherwise you don't go anywhere. And there's a software update already. As with the Priv, Samsung do have their own software to copy everything across, your data, pictures, SMS and so on. But it's already built into the Android system now, so as with when I was setting up the Priv, I'm just going to use the NFC to set it up. Takes a few tries sometimes, I don't know why. Now I'm just going to sign into my Google account. On we go. All I have to do now is agree that I'm in the UK. I'm not going to set the pin up as yet. We'll skip that for now. I'll do that later. Because this phone has a fingerprint reader, I'll be using that. So the usual Android bits and pieces. Now a lot of people disable these, but I tend to leave most of them on apart from this one here, which reports back information that I don't think is necessary to the use of the phone. We'll leave it set itself up. It's all set up now, and we're carrying on with the last part of the setup process. I'll sign in with my Samsung account as well later. I do have a Samsung account. The last Samsung I had was a Galaxy S2, which I really liked. This is another one of the power saving features of the Note. It actually cuts things off, basically, or switches things off when they're not in use. I don't want to go into SK Telecom mode, so I'll go into Samsung phone mode. It has a built-in antivirus. My Xperia Z3 has AVG antivirus, but it's something you can disable if you want. So the setup is now fully complete. And it's downloading all of the updates for the Samsung pre-installed apps. It's actually giving me the choice here for using the Samsung version of the transfer software. Yet another agreement to verify. And this is the software I mentioned, the Samsung Smart Switch. We're not going to be using that though, because Google will do it all for us. Finally onto the home screen. Now instead of Google Now, when you swipe to the left, it has a version of Flipboard, but we'll come to that more when I do a full review. My battery is very low, so I'm going to have to charge it soon, so it doesn't fail on the installs. The usual Samsung settings menu, with a few extra bits and pieces in there I've noticed. So that's the end of this part of the unboxing and setup. I hope you'll join me for a full review in a future video. Thanks for watching.